Hi everyone, we're Quick Resuming back to episode 6 of the Quick Resume podcast. My name is Deck. I'm joined by Crispy Timmy, my co-host. Stop ASMRing your beard on the microphone.
You can hear that? Oh
yes.
My lord. Yeah, it's me, crispier than ever. I recently dug out the blue snowball microphone that was sitting in my wardrobe, and I first came on and I was like, this is going to sound really great, and then I realised this is a curse more than a blessing. Like, every time I move, you hear my chair squeak. You can hear me stroking my beard, apparently, which is going to be tough because I do a lot of beard stroking when I talk, but I'll try and refrain from doing that. But yeah, hello everyone.
Maybe that's where the channel's going. We'll just Quick Resume ASMR, just week by week. Just
oh wow,
an hour of you scratching your beard. Sounds good.
Yeah, I mean, it's better than the normal shit we talk about, to be fair. So,
absolutely. How are you this week, buddy? How's your week been?
I'm good. Yeah, I mean, as always with shorter weeks, they always end up feeling longer somehow. I'm convinced it's just because you're cramming 5 days work into 4. So, but yeah,
decent weekend.
No, I'm pretty good, and I'm just getting back into the swing of things, and glad it's the weekend. So yeah, all good.
I've gotten into this this routine of as soon as the clock ticks like past 5 on a Friday, I just start playing that weekend song. Who's it even by? You know, what? I can't wait for the weekend to begin.
I can't remember who that's.
I just blare it across the house because we've got obviously like Alexas across the house, so I just like blurt it across the house. Yeah, it's hype, man.
Get those weekend vibes going.
It's so good. It's by Michael Gray.
I can't wait for a quick resume to begin.
Shall we try and get Michael? Shall we try and get him to do a remix for us? Yeah,
definitely. I think we could probably go higher.
I think we can swing it.
Who's the best sort of remixer?
We've got power. That's a good point.
Probably turn into like a lo-fi beat or something.
David Guetta.
David Guetta. Yeah.
A lo-fi beat. I'd love that.
Yeah. That'd be great.
I looked into it. I looked into getting someone to do like a lo-fi intro for us.
No way. You're that into your lo-fi beats at the moment.
Yes.
I do like them.
Sue me.
Yeah, I remember I played them quite recently at the over Easter when we were all like playing like card games and stuff. But it was like I didn't do it like right at the beginning. Obviously, it was like really close to the end of the night. And I was just like, let's put some chill music on. Everyone was like, yeah, I'm feeling kind of sleepy. And I put it on and everyone just like started falling asleep. It's that sort of music, to be fair.
It's so good, man. I fucking love it. I always call it,
And I was telling them, and I was like, this is what I like work to most of the time because, you know, it hasn't got lyrics. It's just easy to listen to because when stuff has lyrics, I find it distracts you because you're singing it and stuff like that. I'm always singing at the top of my lungs.
It was blurred out.
And they were just like, you just sleep at your desk all day? And I was like, the cat's out of the bag.
Yeah,
exactly what I do.
Well, I mean, enjoy it while you can. I mean, most people when they get older find it hard to even listen to music without lyrics. Like, it taxes too much on your working memory because your brain turns into a raisin. You just can't listen to anything.
I could see that. Yeah.
So
I have always been a music listener when I work, but yeah, this is
just
a podcast into our lives at the moment.
I know. What is this?
This is just amazing. Yeah, this is like the most just normal ass intro ever. We haven't even got on to anything gaming.
Hi, my name's Deck. I ate rigatoni last night. My bowel movements are at 12 and 4. Yeah.
Oh, nice rigatoni. You could at least spend 15 minutes on that.
Oh no! No, it was rigatoni. Anyway, should we fucking speak about something else?
Yeah, let's speak about some. Yeah, the poor guy who wanted timestamps. This is why.
Doesn't listen to talk about fucking lo-fi music and rigatoni. Anyway, Jesus Christ. So I mean, you I've obviously been playing Outriders with me. Have you been playing anything else this week? Has anything interesting happened for you in the gaming realm?
No, not really. Kind of just been Outriders. I did briefly boot up Octopath Traveler, and then immediately got scared at the commitment of it.
Right.
I played it for like sort of like 30 minutes or something. And it looks like it's definitely right up my alley. I love that sort of game. But right now, I don't know, it's just a bit of a commitment. I mean, I find it quite hard to find the time just to play like Outriders with you and stuff like that. I still haven't followed up on any of my promises, but we're not going to bring those up.
I mean, now that you mention it,
I don't want to mention it.
Yeah, right.
I shouldn't have.
You can go to episode 3 if you want to see his promises.
But yeah, I still do need to play those, and I will. It's just a case of shifting the mood, because I'm definitely I'm just in a different sort of gaming mood now these days. We kind of just hop on and just mess around on Outriders, which is just the best. Like it's like one of those. It's like, I would describe Outriders I would compare it to like a movie like Sharknado.
I think of a better description.
Yeah, right? It's
like Gunnado. That's for the fucking game.
Yeah, it's bad, but it's good. Like, it's bad in so many ways, but it's good in so many ways.
Well, yeah, it's like the same reason you'd watch Goosebumps or like the original Spider-Man trilogy. Like, you don't watch it because it's like legitimately good. You watch it because you get it's funny.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm sure we'll get onto it more. It's just the intro. We'll talk about Outriders a little bit more a week on, but yeah. So I guess we'll just go on to you. How's your week been, and what have you been doing?
Yeah, it's been a busy week, man. I feel like I'm losing my voice a bit today because I've just been speaking to so many people, and at work we've had like trainees start as well, so I've been like trying to help them with stuff, and it's just ludicrous. So I wouldn't be surprised if my voice started getting like crackly like towards the end of this, or maybe high pitch. I don't know. We'll have to find out. But other than that, yeah, I mean, it has just been a lot of Outriders. I'm waiting for some new stuff to happen with Apex, like potentially, I don't know. Still sort of half following that.
There's like a new event on its way out, isn't there, or something?
Yeah, War Games, yeah. Yeah, on the 15th.
I remember seeing like a load of new skins and stuff. It's like almost like a white and gold like sort of themed skin event. They look quite cool actually, but I didn't look too much into it.
Yeah, they're doing 2 weeks where there's like 5 game modes. They're like,
yeah, that's it. Yeah,
they're like slight adjustments for different things. So that's the thing.
Yeah, that could be fun, and hopefully it'll come with some balance changes too, some much needed balance changes. Spice up the game a bit.
Nerf Caustic. No.
Nerf Caustic. For all you Apex gamers out there,
never gonna go over it
with the ban hammer.
So, don't fucking bring up his hammer. Do you remember when he's supposed to batter down doors with his hammer? Yeah, me neither.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
I do remember that, yeah. They were supposed to add it, that he used his heirloom to knock
They still haven't acknowledged that it's not a thing. They were just like, yeah, we're going to add it so he can smash down doors with his hammer.
Yeah, one day they're just going to remove Caustic and just be like, who?
I think they will.
What do you mean? There was never a Caustic. Who's Caustic?
Yeah, there'll just be a floating gas cloud throughout the map. That's him. Yeah, so I don't know. I've been keeping an eye on that, but I've also been playing a little bit of Hollow Knight as well. I'm an idiot for ever thinking it was anything short of amazing. But I mean, I've only played probably only played like maybe 3 or 4 hours total. But it's fucking cool. I like it a lot so far. And yeah, other than that, it's just Outriders. So, I mean, this is probably now is probably a good time to swing into that. I mean, sort of now that we've kind of had a bit more time with it across the week. Actually, I guess maybe first, last week, 2 weeks ago, our predictions for Outriders Open Critic was you were 76, I was 78. Last week, we were both very happy. We were content. The score was 77. It's a win for all. It's a all for one one for all win. This week,
no, it's the friendship over.
Well, so that was like based on like 11 reviews last week. It's now up to 53 reviews. So, you know, we've like quadrupled, quintupled the amount of reviews. And how would you describe the server stability in the last week?
Poopy.
What word would you use? Poopy, yeah. Poopy.
Shooting poopies.
Shoot the poopies. So the score has dropped down to 75, and I imagine it'll stay at 75. So you're the winner of our first out Open Critic predictions showcase.
Feels good, man.
Well done. I mean, at the same time, we shouldn't be happy. We should be happy about that.
Yeah. I'm glad it got a lower score because I won.
But the thing is, like, I know, like, we needed a bigger sample size to just see what it was going to stabilize out at. But it was at 82 at some point last week when it had, like, something, you know, like 10 reviews or whatever. I really think because the game has been really unstable, that's really coloured people's reviews of what it's been like. And, you know, this has been part of our problem. The game has been really fucking unstable. It's dreadful, really, really bad. And a lot of people are going to be scoring it low because of that.
I do think it's quite harsh though to just sort of brand a game forever with a lower score just because it had some issues right at the beginning, or you know, like they had more of an influx than they were expecting. You know, like they are a small dev team at the end of the day as well. Well, not small. Well, I guess they are small.
They're not that big.
But I think it's a bit harsh to forever brand a game in a negative light just because of that. Because the servers won't be an issue, you'd hope, in the next couple of weeks. So, and it's not like reviewers are going to be like, okay, well, then now it's back up to an 82. You know, it's, I don't know. It's annoying, and it has annoyed us. Don't get me wrong. It was like yesterday, wasn't it? We literally just finished work, and we hopped on, and just the servers were just down for like, well, I think they were down for quite a while before that, but we had to wait like a solid like 40 minutes before coming on, and it's, you know, it's not what you want when you just want to play the video game. But
you're probably going to get crucified for that. It's quite an unpopular opinion.
Do you not agree though? To just say like, that forever branding a game at a lower score because there's some issues right out the gate, even though the game itself, gameplay wise, is pretty good. Some very buggy, but it is good.
I've been advocating for like reviews, like updated reviews for years. Like we're past the age of games being released and one and done. You know, we're into the age of games being supported, and I find it pretty dumb that review outlets haven't jumped on it. It's more clicks for them. It holds devs and publishers to not being scumbags on launch and not being scumbags after launch. I mean, the thing is, we've seen publishers take advantage of this system. We've seen publishers acknowledge that reviews, like you say, are given at launch and then never touched again. And that means we get Call of Duty, you know, for 6 months saying, we won't do microtransactions, we won't do loot boxes, yada, yada, yada. Game launches, 1 month later, they put them in the game because they're past the review window. So none of the critical success gets affected. So, like, they're taking advantage of that, and I don't know why, like, the games media isn't being reactive to that. It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Reviews should be reactive to how the game performs over its time. So, you know, whether or not it improves. And they do reviews like that for some games. I know there was recently an Apex Legends review for 2021 and stuff like that.
IGN are quite good with it. IGN do quite a lot.
Yeah.
They're one of the few, I think I've seen GameSpot do a few. IGN do it, and they're the only one of the few that do.
But I feel like they tend to do that just with the free-to-play genre, though, right? More so than something else.
No, they did it for Overwatch. They've done it for Sea of Thieves. They've done it for Rainbow Six Siege. They've done it for all of these games. Yeah, they've done it for loads of games, and I think it's fantastic. And they always get good amount of reviews. And I just think it's well worth doing. You know, I don't think anybody's realistically asking that you do a new review every 3 months. You know, do it every 2 years or something. It doesn't have to be much, but the thing is, yeah, I mean, you're right as well, because a lot of these aggregate sites like OpenCritic or Metacritic, don't take it into account. Like they won't. The way it's done, it won't take a updated review into account. So that will be stuck forever. But at the very least, there should be updated reviews that people can, type it in and it will say, like I'm having a look right now, Overwatch review 2020 update, Sea of Thieves review 2020 update.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I mean, I completely agree. But I think a lot of I said it's an unpopular opinion for a reason, because I think a lot of people are very stressed that games are releasing buggy nowadays. But
plus gamers hold a grudge. It's very natural for gamers.
Gamers are the grudge
as a species to hold a grudge.
That's what the film was about.
Yeah, it's based on gamers. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. A black cancerous being.
Fortnite player. Yeah. So it's I don't know. Yeah, I find it quite harsh. But you
can't blame them for doing it. Like, you can't.
No, I can't. Yeah,
it's gonna. That's what I mean. Like, it's even if you were trying to not let that sway your impression of a game, it's going to. Like, if you're getting booted out of a game every 30 minutes, you're going to be pissed off and you're going to be like, this is a 75, not an 80. So yeah, can't blame them.
Yeah. But I think it's a very fair score, even as is, to be honest. I'm not upset with that 75. I even think that the gameplay is good, but there are just it's a very unpolished game. I mean, I was audibly laughing several times last night, not only at the cutscenes, but just some of the. I just had the funniest moment ever.
I need to watch your clip actually.
Yeah, it was just glitch heaven. Like, I couldn't have asked for a funnier glitch, but it is like a mid-70s game. If I was to play that game, I don't think I would rate it an 8. I'd rate it probably below an 8.
I don't know. I do think it's quite hard to say, isn't it? But I think if it was crystal clean, no bugs, I don't know, maybe. But I think it is quite hard to say with these sorts of games, because if you start moving towards the end game and you're like, oh, okay, half my skills are shit, so the balancing's really poor, then that's gonna. That's the sort of thing that would push me an extra 5 points. If there were no bugs, I would probably be thinking it could do an 8. It could do a high 70 or an 8. But if I get to the end game and it's actually this is really poorly balanced, it brings it back down to a 75. So yeah, I agree.
Yeah, which I am starting to notice a little bit of, to be honest. That sort of end game, I am noticing a lot. I definitely know what skills are my best and what skills I should always be using, basically, and what skills are just trash and should never really be picked up. I am starting to notice that. And I know all games have that. It's very hard to balance every single skill for every single character. I don't expect them to do that, but I am starting to see a trend, and maybe just one or two play styles, maybe. Well, actually, that's very harsh to say. I don't know what all the legendary sets are like and stuff like that, but I just feel like I've already found the 3 skills that are the staple for my character, and I would put myself at a disadvantage if I were picking other things other than those. Which is fine, because there's loads of characters to play as well. I definitely want to try the Pyromancer. I actually have a bit of an itch to try the Pyromancer already, even though I haven't even maxed out my Technomancer yet. But yeah, I think overall a week in from last week, I'm still pretty happy with it. I'm about the same as where I was last week, to be honest. The stability hasn't really improved over the last week. Servers are still pretty bad. I'm still getting bugs in game, obviously, but yeah. So my opinion hasn't really changed that much, but I'm still having fun with it. So
yeah. I said this to you yesterday. I don't ever want to hear again that games as a service are the fucking problem with games releasing incomplete. I mean, even we just had Cyberpunk as well. This isn't a games as a service problem. I don't know why people don't understand that yet. Games are more complicated now. They're bigger. And they're working to budgets. I mean, clearly there's a problem. I'm not saying there isn't, but I mean, for games as a service seem to have become the scapegoat because they've been like, they've been like the rising tide in the last 7 years of games going for that for more finance and more cost overhead and all of that. But Outriders sold itself as not being a games as a service, and everyone bit their hand off for that. And everyone was like, "That sounds fucking great. I hate games as a service." And then it releases, and it has all the exact same problems that a games as a service game has. So don't give me that shit. It's exactly the same. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, I can usually look past this stuff. Outriders has been particularly bad, to be honest. There has been like server shutdowns for hours. There's been like regular like spawning in, not able to move. It has been quite bad, and I said it makes me even more thankful it's on Games Pass. Like, I wasn't expecting it to be this bad in terms of bugginess, but I would definitely be a bit more angry if I had spent a full price on this. Maybe it gets ironed out by the time it leaves Game Pass, and I'd be happy to drop a bit of money for it. But for now, I'm
thankful it's on Games Pass for sure. And I mean, can we just talk about the cutscenes as well? Like, awful, like truly awful, but so not just in scripting and just everything about them. The quality too is so awful in these cutscenes. There's just like my screen's just being ripped in half, like
it's so weird.
Yeah, it's just really, really poor quality.
There's everything
it's lower
though.
Frames.
It's so weird. It's like have you not? There's a setting for that. There's a setting to change the frames in the cutscenes.
Why?
Yeah, because in the beta it wasn't. It was 30, and everybody complained about it. So they were like, "Oh, I don't fucking know, dude."
Why is it not just default the highest?
Because it's cinematics. There's like this argument that 30 frames is cinematic, and like nobody believes it, but there is an argument there. So that's why it's that by default. So go and change that.
Okay. But the screen tearing is still a thing.
Yeah, but like the thing is about the cutscenes, it's like every single facet of it is bad. I've never seen such bad like fucking cutscene direction. It's so like the lip syncing is off. The facial animations are like not bad, not like a Bethesda game bad, but like I mean they are, but like on top of that, like everybody's like smiling at weird times. They're like, "Oh no, dude, X is dead," and they're all fucking smiling and winking at each other. And I'm like, "What are you doing? What's going on here?" And then there are like times where people just wander off screen, and then we just have to pretend they're not there, and then they wander back on and save everybody. And it's like, what the fuck happened? It's really weird because if you think about the disparity between like some of the way that the Outriders story is told and like then the quality of like some indie games, it's like, what happened here? Like I know there are like a Polish studio like maybe trying to make like an American centric game. Like I don't know if there's like any difficulty there, but like if you think about like the quality of like Hades, which is like presumably like a studio of less than 50 people. Hades is Supergiant, isn't it? Supergiant maybe are a bit bigger than that. I don't know. But anyway, even if you think about like some of these indie games and the way that they like direct and tell their story, you can just tell there's so much craft to it. And I'm not even getting the impression that there wasn't any craft to Outriders, just that nobody knew what they were doing. It was so weird, but it's so weird.
Yeah, it's like every employee got to put at least one thing they wanted in the cutscene.
No, literally, it is. Yeah, it literally is. It's like, yeah, it really is. It's such a mixed bag, and I mean that in the worst way possible. It's so weird. It's like it's literally like I ask kids for their opinions on like what should happen in cutscenes. It's like, all right, and you just have to go along with it. Like, all right, this is happening now. And so like it's so goddamn weird.
I have a very love-hate relationship with it though. I do love it, and I've been in tears for some of them. And just like 80% of the cutscenes end with the main character, our protagonist, shooting someone in the head.
Yeah, just for no reason.
I don't know why. We have such an obsession with just saying like
"fuck
you" and just popping someone in the head. The amount of unnecessary swear words to try and build like tension as well is ridiculous. Like they see like a sandstorm ahead of them and they're like, "Oh, that looks bad. Like maybe we should find cover." They're all just like, fuck. Fuck me, that looks awful. What the fuck is that? Fucking fuck.
Shit, we're fucked.
They're all just swearing, and it's just like, it's almost like that's how they make it seem, like climactic. I don't know if that's the right word. But
yeah, I don't know. I think there are some times where they've like looked at other. I mean, we said this. It's so weird because we said this in a good way last week, but I think there are some elements of at least like the story building and world building where they've looked at other like looter shooters and be like, let's just take the good bit, and so like they've tried to take like the whole thing from Borderlands where it's like, oh, you're a badass Vault Hunter, and then that they pull that off really well. But in this, they just like try and jam it in, and your like dude is just like a dick. He's not cool. He's just a dick.
Yeah.
Oh, she's just a dick.
Which is so different to what you were at the beginning of the game when you first landed on Enoch, and you were just like, you were like a soldier. You were just like, where do I go next? Yeah, northwest, 220 clicks. Yeah, I'll find the. You were just like a normal dude, like a really straight up like soldier, a little bit of like a cheekiness to him. But then you get fucking struck by whatever the hell happened to you, and you got your powers, and you just become such a dick. You just think you're just like hot shit, and it's oh my god, it's ridiculous. The change was just insane.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I'm still mostly having fun with the gameplay, but fucking hell, some of it is just so. It's like some of the worst I've ever played. Like in terms of
it's Sharknado.
The direction, it is Sharknado the game. It is. Mm-hmm. So we'll see. We're almost coming up to the end game. So once again, I'm sure we'll talk about this next week. We're almost max
Expeditions next week.
Expeditions.
We'll talk about those.
I'm starting to see some cracks in the gameplay. Every now and then, and I'm not sure if it's just me. So, I mean, we'll just have to wait and see. I think it's mostly still good, but there are some cracks there where I'm like, this feels like a clash of what the game is trying to do and what it's actually doing.
It feels... sometimes the enemies just feel so weird. Sometimes I go into an area and it's a decent fight, and then sometimes I go into an area and just random things just one-shot me out of nowhere. And I don't know what's happening, and I feel like I can't control it. And there's no invulnerability frames when dodging as well. So even if you perfectly time a dodge, like something's jumping on you and swiping you, you perfectly time it, your character just like glitches out a bit, and then it hits you anyway. And you're like, what? What just happened? Like,
I don't know.
I'm a Dark Souls player. Give me that shit.
Exactly. I have no idea what they've decided to not go with iframes. Like, I compare Outriders mostly to like Remnant in terms of like its gunplay. It's like the closest thing, I think.
Yeah.
But Remnant has iframes, dude. Exactly. It's very, really consistent and reliable, whereas Outriders is just so unreliable. It's so like sometimes I just drop dead. I don't know. Yeah. And the weird thing is, I'm pretty sure that Outriders has one-shot protection, which is great. Like, lots of games in this don't. Like, Destiny doesn't have one-shot protection. I don't think Division does either. And it's just that thing of, like, if something hits you, you'll always survive on 1 health. So, at minimum, you need to take 2 hits to die. And I'm pretty sure Outriders has that. I've looked down a few times after taking a big hit and noticed I've been on 1 health. But then sometimes I don't. Sometimes I just get eviscerated, and I'm like, what? Why? And like, because there's no indication, it's hard to know like what direction you're being shot from. There's not a very good indicator of why that's happening. So I don't know, man. I don't know why there's no iframes. I don't know. It's just, I guess it's the game's trying to like push you more to be in the right position and like keep moving more than like stand in the same place, dodge, stand in the same place, dodge. It wants you to keep moving. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll fucking see. So that's Outriders for this week. There has been, on the news front, there's been lots of little stuff. Well, some little stuff, and then lots of small to medium to kind of big, I suppose. Rumours, really. Rumours and arguably leaks if you're feeling saucy. So we'll start from the top here. We get to start with Sea of Thieves, so I get to have my big shit-eating grin again. But it's they're just teasing a lot of stuff on Twitter at the moment and on stream, and then they announced that season 2 is coming on April the 15th. I don't know if you remember, Seasons is obviously the kind of like battle pass system that they're doing. Plunder Pass, they call it, and each season tends to introduce new stuff along with a new Plunder Pass. So that was all really, really nice. They showed off like a barrel emote in the trailer where you can turn yourself into a barrel, which seems a bit weird because that's a bit pay to win. But hey ho, it's all right if you say so.
Yeah, you could definitely see some toxic PvP players taking advantage of that.
Well, yeah, you just climb onto a boat and pretend to be a barrel of bananas. Like it's kind of cheesy. Like, but anyway, so that's happening, and I will say, Insider Deck here coming at your heart. You get this live from Quick Resume as a Sea of Thieves insider, right from day one, Pioneer. There's some hot shit coming in Sea of Thieves. I've seen ahead. I know what's coming. The next few seasons are really fucking cool and really exciting. I'll probably be dipping in over the next few seasons. Probably not for season 2 though. This one coming, maybe the next one or the one after. But yeah, really exciting stuff on the horizon for Sea of Thieves. Cool. Definitely a lot to be excited about if anybody else likes playing it.
I do always love hopping back on Sea of Thieves. So, especially at 3 a.m.
Especially at 3 a.m. We all know what you like. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's always good fun, and it's good to see. It's good to see it improving all the time. So yeah, nice. Nice stuff to come to it.
We spoke about a certain Battlefield 6 a couple of weeks ago. Now there has been some rumours this week that it might be launching into Xbox Games Pass. There has been rumours for a while now of a really, or at least a few really big games dropping into Game Pass on day one, either this year or in the near future. And Battlefield 6 has been in circulation by a couple of insiders to be one of those games. And something like that is massive. There's no way around it. I know we don't typically play Battlefield, but to be fair, it's something that I would play if it launched into Game Pass. I would probably play it if it looked good.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So what you were just saying. So it doesn't actually have a release date at the moment.
Battlefield 6 hasn't been announced yet.
Oh, hasn't even been announced? Oh, okay. Yeah, I was about to say I haven't heard anything from it.
No, we don't know about
so it's just launching into Games Pass. Probably not this year then. Definitely
I don't know.
This year, right?
I don't know. There has been some talks that it's going to be kind of announced E3 time to launch November. Usually COD and Battlefield come out around that time.
Yeah.
So that's the speculation. It's all rumor stuff still. But that's the beginning of the rumor mill for this week, anyway.
Yeah, that is pretty big though. And it's crazy that even on a week by week basis, we're seeing so many new things allegedly making their way over to Games Pass, and people. Also, I heard another rumor that Hideo Kojima's next game might be.
It's coming up. It's coming up.
Okay, all right, we'll talk about that later. Yeah, but I heard obviously that might be an Xbox exclusive and coming straight into Games Pass as well. Obviously, we'll cover that more later, but it's just crazy that on a week by week basis, we're just seeing companies I feel like they're just changing their opinion, their allegiance, so to speak, and going down more of the Xbox route.
It is.
And you literally you could see it on a week by week basis if you follow our podcast. It's pretty crazy.
It is, and you kind of see this all over the place. For the last, I think we said this in one of the last episodes. There has been this really strong momentum that Xbox has at the moment, and this is clearly part of their marketing. I think we touched on this. They've gotten a couple people over from Netflix now to manage marketing, so they know the power of dropping games and content into these services. It's a big deal. So yeah, absolutely, they're spacing this out to the right amount. Hearing weekly, there's another game in. There's another game in. In the future there's this big game. It's a big deal. It creates a lot of mind share. Yeah, absolutely. There is definitely a rising tide for Xbox at the moment, and beyond that, there's something to say about this later. Sony, obviously, Xbox's main competitor, no way around it, is arguably having a lot of negative press. They've had a lot of negative press over the last 3 or 4 months, to be honest. So you do kind of get this double-handed effect at the moment. Yeah, like you said, you are seeing quite a lot of positivity for Xbox at the moment because there's a lot of good stuff to say, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it definitely seems like PlayStation are taking a little bit of a hit at the moment. They're in a little bit of a rut.
Just a PR rut, though. Like, they're still killing it in sales.
Of course. Yeah. There's, I'm pretty sure they're actually doing better.
Absolutely. Comfortably.
By quite some margin. But, PR-wise, they are in a bit of a rut, which Xbox are fully taking advantage of. And they're sort of, they're using it to their advantage, yeah. So, cool.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get back to all of this. There is more rumor stuff to talk about. That just came a bit earlier in the week, so I just wanted to touch on that first. But in terms of some more solid news of actual stuff that is actually happening, there was some confirmation earlier in the week about more games coming to Games Pass and Xcloud. Again, like I got an iPhone, I've got an iOS device, so I haven't been able to try Xcloud yet, but. Things like GTA coming to cloud and console. What's this? Rush? Is that Disney Pixar Rush? MLB The Show as well, obviously, NFL. So a couple of sports games, Zombie Army 4. This is just a few, but there were like over 50 games coming to xCloud. The big thing here was they're bringing over 50 games to xCloud with touch controls. So did you know this was a thing for xCloud? They're like handcrafting touch controls for some of the games that they're bringing over.
I did not know that, no.
All right, so there has been a few. I want to say Minecraft Dungeons was one of them, Gears 5 was one of them, and Gears Tactics was one of them. I think there has been a few more, but so you can literally just go on xCloud, boot it up, and there are just buttons on the screen. You can just play it on your phone without needing to connect a controller or whatever. So they're dumping 50 more games to that, and one of them is one of our favourites, Slay the Spire, which is fucking cool.
Woo! Yeah, no, that is pretty hype. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I already kind of play Slay the Spire on my Switch, so there's no reason I'd ever play it on Xcloud. Chivos, that's true.
Yeah, it gives you another reason to play Slay the Spire, dude.
I've put so many hours into the Switch. I'm scared to look. It's definitely several hundred. But yeah, I mean that's pretty cool. Loads of new games come in. I've always kind of wanted to try Zombie Army. Those games.
I don't know anything about it. I know it's like a spin-off of Sniper Elite, and that makes me want to scream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You love Sniper Elite.
I hate Sniper Elite. I hate Sniper Elite with my whole fucking being. Every cell in my body hates Sniper Elite.
It's awful. Yeah, it's truly awful.
Right down to
pumping them out.
I fucking hate it.
And yeah, you get to finally play GTA without the shark card attachment. Whenever it's always with the shark card.
I know. I have been. I think it's still on. Yeah, I think it was in Games Pass a while back, and now it's come back. And I've got it on download. I have been wanting to play because I never complete the single player campaign, and obviously it's reviewed so damn highly. But I remember it being very fucking good when I played it back in 2013, 14, whatever it was. But I mean, I'm not typically a GTA boy, but I mean, I had a good time. So I do want to play it again. But yeah. It's cool. Dragon Quest is on there as well, actually. It's one of the games with touch controls. I know you started Dragon Quest, didn't you?
I pumped a fair few hours into Dragon Quest. Very charming RPG. The touch control thing, I don't know. That doesn't really do anything for me, personally, xCloud and touch controls. I mean, sure, it's nice for convenience sake, but whenever I've played, like, any form of mobile game that has like touch controls on the screen, it's so jank. But some people might like it, but it doesn't really do anything for me. I'm not like, oh wow, touch controls for Gears 5. Like, I couldn't think of anything worse than playing Gears
what
5.
I'll say is, have you played remote play before on your phone?
I have.
It's a fucking yeah. How have you done that? Like, I can't connect my Elite 2 to my controller, and I don't think it's even compatible yet.
No. I just have I just have a normal Xbox controller that has Bluetooth capabilities, just a standard one, and that connected fine. I didn't have any issues with it.
That's why, because I said before, that's why I got my quiche in the end, because when I'm like going to play remote play, I want to boot it up and I just want to start playing. I don't want any hassle, and I just found it so much hassle to use the Bluetooth. They're like, oh, it might not work, it might work. Oh, it disconnected. Like, oh my god. So like there is this kind of thing. Like if you have 20 minutes, you just want to boot up a game, like hop on it, play like a mission on Minecraft Dungeons, or play like a quest on Slay the Spire. And what I will say is that I'm pretty sure all of the ones that they do for the touch controls are all custom. That they like custom put the controls in, so it's not like, I don't know. I'm sure it's going to be janky. Like if you don't like touch controls on phone, like this probably won't change your mind. But they like the options there. I don't think anybody's expecting you're going to like it more than using a controller, but it's there for convenience and speed, basically.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, no, that's great. It's always nice to see the Xcloud library expand, as well as Games Pass. It's just Games Pass always expands like crazy. And yeah, there are a few games in there I'd want to try out, so that's pretty hype.
Yeah,
pretty cool.
Cool. We've got a small dashboard update as well. This was very, very little. It's just a Games Pass thing, but it was a little tile that's essentially going to say if your mates are playing something on Games Pass, and you can just jump straight into them, or you can click that tile and it will just download the game for you. Like it'll pop up saying, "Oh, they're playing this game. This game is Games Pass," and you can click on it, it'll download the game for you, which I do think is really cool. I think Xbox has always been like really good at fostering like that, at like like social environment, social gameplay, and whatever. Do you know what? And actually, this has been like a really unexpectedly cool thing about Games Pass. I think, like, obviously it's good for value and whatever, but what actually is really good about it is playing with your friends, because when there's something that looks good that you want to play with your friends, you not only have to fork out the money for yourself and convince yourself it's a good idea, you have to convince your friends it's a good idea as well. And with Games Pass, you don't have to do that. The barrier to entry is zilch. So you can kind of all just hop in and play in this. I think that it creates a really cool effect for co-op games where you can all just try shit. That's the thing as well. Convincing your friends to buy something which they would typically be on the fence about, they'll now try with you. So, but they should, because the barrier is so low. So I think that's a really cool like side effect that Game Pass has kind of had, and I think this kind of just kind of fosters that a little bit more.
Yeah, it definitely sort of opens everyone's minds to try different things with little to no hassle. It's great. I mean, for example, when I downloaded Octopath that recently came onto Games Pass, I just kind of wanted to try that. I wasn't sure about it. I did watch a review on it, and I know it's done very well review-wise, but I just clicked on it, downloaded it. It was such a small download. It's like a 3 gigabyte game.
Oh, really?
It's tiny. Yeah.
Oh, right. Sweet.
And then I was just on it in like 2 minutes. So it's just, it's very easy and very consumer friendly to just be like, hey, come try this out with me. Hey, come play this with me.
Mm-hmm.
And every time that happens, it's just money in the developers' pockets and stuff like that, which is why Games Pass is so appealing to a lot of people, to a lot of devs and stuff like that, and companies. And it's becoming increasingly more appealing as well, probably because a large portion is because of that. They would get so many more players trying their game, downloading it and playing it, than they would if it wasn't on Games Pass. It's just a bit of a no-brainer.
Absolutely. I like
Justin Bieber.
The other, absolutely. I mean, there's the only other, like, the example I can think of is the Descenders. I don't think you were. Oh no, where were you? I can't remember. I got everybody to download and play the Descenders, which is kind of that like. It's like a mountain biking game, and it's like one of its big things is like playing co-op, but it's like really hard. It's like really, really fucking hard. But it was cool, man, and it was like not very big. It's like 4 gig or whatever. I got everyone to download it, and we played it one evening. and we haven't touched it since. But I had a good time. Like, I wouldn't have been able to, like, do you know what I mean? It's just like, I would never have thought I would have gotten everyone to play a mountain biking game. I wouldn't have thought that would be my sort of game. But it was really fun. Like, I wouldn't even be opposed to going back on it. It was genuinely very, very fun. But it's just that sort of thing. But having that low barrier to entry is so valuable, especially when friends are involved. And I think that's having more features that accommodate that is really, 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 really cool.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
That's my piece.
Yeah.
We have E3 coming back this year.
Some like Nintendo Wii news there.
The Wii is back.
The Nintendo Wii is coming back.
It's the best. We're a Nintendo Wii podcast now. I've decided right now. E3 is coming back. Good folks of the internet. So I mean, obviously we had E3 cancelled last year, and we had in its wake, we had the Summer Games mess that Jeff Keighley was. The Summer Games. That's what somebody else called it. It was the Games of Summer of Games. I can't remember the title, but it was this. The overall reception was that it wasn't. It was a bit annoying because it was so dragged out. It went on for like 4 months, and there was some cool stuff throughout it, no doubt. But Jeff Keighley, the guy who does the Video Game Awards, he kind of did it, and he kind of obviously collaborated with a load of publishers to do it, and he does a lot for the industry. He generates a lot of excitement about it, but the format was a bit so and so. And obviously, the year before that, we had Sony pull out of E3. Sony didn't even have an E3, so they've been very quiet throughout all of this. And then this year, we've had a confirmation that a digital-only E3 is a real thing that's going to happen. And because obviously this is something which is hosted by a different organisation. I can't remember what they're called. I really can't remember. But they've decided they're going to host it again. And Nintendo, Xbox, and Ubisoft are 3 confirmed publishers that are going to be there. You'll notice one glaring omission again. Sony haven't confirmed their attendance. Sold the Soldier Boy console isn't there either. The KFC console isn't there either.
All the best ones.
All the best ones aren't going. I just want an excuse to become a KFC console podcast, and they won't give it to me.
Yeah.
So this is a thing. It's obviously, I think this is really exciting. I think people are excited that E3 is coming back because people often refer to it as like, a game is like Christmas. It's really exciting. We get so much news. We get so many trailers. I always love like the month or two leading up to it, almost as much, if not more, than the actual month itself, because so much speculation goes around. And it's just so fucking exciting, man, to be part of. So I'm really glad it's back. I don't know why. I'm assuming Sony have their own thing planned, but I kind of wish they would kind of come back to E3 because, I mean, they are still a big part of it, and I usually get PlayStations. I like the stuff they put out, and so it's just part of that kind of megaton week that comes around once a year. E3 is great.
I love it. We do tend to get quite caught up in it. You more so the leading up to it, like you said. You're just scrambling through the internet. Like, is it fake or is it real?
Who cares, man?
And then
it's part of the fun.
But then, we normally do like a meetup or something like that. Or I mean, this year probably.
And it's always near our birthdays as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we normally always either just like hop online and talk and watch the whole thing together, or we I think it wasn't last year but the year before we all kind of just met up in person, didn't we? Our group of mates.
We did do it last year because
we
did it for not E3. We did it for the Xbox Game Showcase because every publisher did like their own thing, which is what I'm talking about. They like everybody so dragged out, and we all watched that together.
Yeah. So it's just a good event. And it'll be sad not to have Sony there as well. I do we don't know, they still might, but because they are, like I said, they are a big part of the show. I like to see what's up and coming. it will sway me to whether or not I want to buy a PS5. You know, my brother plays a lot of PlayStation, so it's stuff that we talk about together as well. So it's always nice to have them there. You know, I don't have any beef with Sony. God forbid if I do, because they're going down. You know, get on my bad side.
Exactly.
But no, that'll be really cool. I'll be really looking forward to that, and like no doubt we'll get a big old juicy nugget of Halo Infinite and all those sort of things. So
yeah, I mean, I've said this before, but this has got to be the year. I've been saying this for like 3 years now. Like, this has got to be the year. This has got to be the year. And we'll talk about this close to the time. God, it's going to be so exciting to be doing Quick Resume podcast. I'm rubbing my fucking hands together. I'm going to be covering this shit like a rash as we get close to E3. But like last year, you know, the reception to the show to Xbox's show was generally pretty mixed. But I generally thought it was pretty good. But I think the the Halo showcase generally brought everyone's kind of view of it down a little bit, and you know, it was a lot of CGI trailers which bummed everyone out a bit rather than gameplay trailers. So, you know, I understand that. It wasn't perfect, but it was quite good. It showed us the roadmap, and like, I just think like with what was missing last year, with what we saw in CGI form last year, with Bethesda coming up, like, we don't know anything about Bethesda, with potential acquisitions we don't know about, with Xbox games publishing, you know, working with third-party developers that we don't know about. This has got to be it, man. This has got to be Megaton year. Like, if it's not...
Yeah.
If it's not this year, it'll be next year. But it's got to be this year.
Or the year after.
Or the year after. Yeah.
It's got to be one of them.
I know.
One of the years I'm alive in.
I know. Well, I fucking hope so. Well, this is the thing, like, because it has been, hasn't it? It's been 2018 was the year that Phil got on stage and he was like, oh, by the way, we're acquiring XYZ, you know, ABC. And, you know, 2019, he came on and was like, oh, by the way, we've acquired these guys as well. 2020, oh, by the way, we've acquired Bethesda. It's like, at some point, this is all going to come flooding out and it's going to be fucking bonkers. So, like, maybe I've got to be a bit realistic and think that because it's been COVID, there has been some stuff slowed down. But I still think we've got to be seeing some gameplay trailers for some new games this year. Like, we've got to be. And, you know, with what we're going to speak about at the back end of this episode, you know, like there's still speculation that stuff that is unannounced is coming out this year. So presumably stuff is going to be dropped out of nowhere and it's going to be releasing later this year. And that's aside from Halo. Yeah, you know, it's aside from Halo or potential Starfield. Yeah. So it's got to be this year, man.
It's got to be.
It's got to be. And
yeah, no, there's always crazy random drops that you don't expect, which is just great. It's part of E3, that sort of stuff. And yeah, I mean, there's no doubt some pretty big games will be shown off. I'd like to see, obviously, more Halo Infinite. Avowed would be pretty sick to see some more of that. Elder Scrolls? New Elder Scrolls?
No. Not a chance.
Nah, you don't think we'll see more of the title screen?
It's the same. Yeah, we'll just see a different font. No, it's the same team that's working on Starfield. There's not a chance. They're
oh, fuck Starfield. Put it in the bin.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah. I'm kidding.
Yeah, God. I know what you're sounding like.
Yeah, I was pretending to be that guy.
Kill Grounded.
Tweeted.
Kill Outer Wilds.
Kill Grounded.
Yeah.
Give me my games that I want.
Elder Scrolls 6, 7, 8. Yeah, not a chance. We're not seeing that till 2025. That's my bet.
Jesus. Nah.
That's my bet.
See you next week.
See you next week. Yeah, we'll see you back for episode fucking 342, where we talk about the Elder Scrolls 6.
No, next week's the Elder Scrolls episode.
Yeah, do you think?
Yeah.
Well, he's confident. He's confident, guys. We'll have to hold him to that. Right, let's move on. So, I mean, it's coming off the back of that. You know, I had mentioned Xbox Games Publishing. Do you know what I mean when I say Xbox Games Publishing?
Sure.
So I'm going to take that as a no. So, under the umbrella of what Xbox have in their first party, they obviously have the studios, but they also have a team dedicated to make third-party games and making them exclusive. So this is your Recores, this is your Sunset Overdrives with Insomniac, this is your Killer Instincts. These are your third-party games, not made by first party, but Xbox Game Publishing initiates and incites those deals. They're a total wild card because we have no idea what they're doing. And personally, I thought what they had done last year was a bit disappointing because we had heard nothing from them for ages, really. And all they came out with last year was As Dusk Falls. Something else called? Do you know what I'm talking about? It was like As Dusk Falls. It was the one that was done over 30 years, and it was like a drama. And it looked kind of cool. We don't know too much about it. It was a French studio. It's done by Interior Nights, I think is the name of the studio. And it looked cool. It looked good. But like I was just kind of expecting more, and obviously that didn't. I don't even know if that had a release date. So anyway, there has been rumours that Xbox Games Publishing is doing some other stuff, and a couple of insiders have corroborated this now. Jez Corden from Windows on the Xbox 2 podcast has told us to not count out Xbox Publishing, and he's put a little squiggly wiggly there in his tweet. If anybody's interested, I'm sure you can Google it and find it. He's said some really interesting partnerships in the works, and he's done a little squiggly emoji, and that has caused quite a bit of speculation.
Okay.
And this has been kind of, like I said, it's been corroborated by Clobbrill, who's kind of an Xbox insider as well. And a couple of insiders have kind of corroborated this. So, and this kind of just amplifies what he said on his podcast. I think it was last week or maybe 2 weeks ago. And I'm just going to quote this just so we can all hear it out loud because it's really exciting. Quote, I know Microsoft is heavily involved with big third-party studios for exclusives. Some of the projects I've seen pitched are the kind of games I expect to be on the level of like where Bungie was with Halo back in the day. The kind of 10-year plan thing, with a Sobo and Flight Simulator. I've seen things that are years out and are incredibly impressive that make me think some of the studios involved could end up being acquired because of the scale of some of the projects. So again...
Wow.
This is like all like rumor speculation stuff, but Xbox Game Publishing are clearly up to some shit. Maybe we'll see some of it this year, maybe we won't, COVID, etc., etc. But there is stuff happening, and again, this is all really exciting. They're always a really big wild card, Xbox Game Publishing, because we never they just come out of nowhere. Same with game publishing of most like Sony is the same. Obviously, they have their first party studios. But to be fair, most of their bangers have come from their publishing team. Like they had, they've had a couple anyway. They had, just off the top of my head, they had Hideo Kojima with Death Stranding, which was received fairly well. And I'm blanking on a few as well. What Horizon was Guerrilla. God of War was obviously Santa Monica. What's some other big ones?
Yeah.
Can't remember. Naughty Dog is another first party. I'm not doing myself too many favours here. I know through the PS4 gen, they've had like several of their big like AAA games have been from other studios. Bloodborne is another example. That's obviously done from Software.
I was going to say Bloodborne, but I thought we were going in the last like year or so.
No, just across the gen. But like
Bloodborne, yeah.
They've had a few like that, and so yeah. Hopefully we see more from them. I think it's again all really exciting stuff. Interesting partnerships in the works, allegedly.
Yeah, for sure. Very exciting. Yeah.
So we'll see. Again, this is the year, man. This is the E3 year.
Yeah, I mean it has to be. Yeah,
it's got to be.
If I don't have a 15-year plan laid out in front of me at E3. The most insane games coming out, and you also just like randomly dropped Sunset Overdrive as like a bit of a buzzword there. I'd love that game. I'd love to see a sequel to that game.
Do you not know?
No.
Do you know who made Sunset Overdrive?
Insomniac.
Do you know who owns Insomniac?
Oh yeah.
Sony bought Insomniac last year, so that's not happening.
Yeah.
If it is, it's going to be exclusive to PlayStation.
Yeah. I knew that as well. I just blanked on it. Yeah.
I know you did. Yeah, I know.
Well.
I agree.
Yeah. It was a great game. But yeah,
it was a great game.
It just kind of you just sparked something in my brain when you said the name.
Well, that was one of the few, like a lot of the success that global publishing, Xbox global publishing, blah, blah, has been earlier on in the gen. That they had Sunset Overdrive, Quantum Break with Remedy, Killer Instinct with what are they called? Can't remember. But like those 3 games are like considered pretty good, and they're all like games. But like as the gen's gone on, it's kind of gone a bit weaker. With Recore and Crackdown is Sumo Digital, isn't it? And blah blah blah. So. I really hope they kind of step up their game because I think they're some of the most exciting games because they come from third-party studios. I guess to be fair, some of the more recent ones have been a bit of a turnaround. Like I'm thinking now, Ori is Moon Studios. Tell Me Why was who was Tell Me Why? Who does bloody Life is Strange?
Oh, I know this.
Yeah, I know you know this. Go on, hit me with it. Don't nod.
I don't know this.
Don't nod.
Don't nod.
Yeah, don't nod. They're called Don't Nod.
Didn't
it's all in
it.
caps. Okay, you didn't know it. You fucking liar.
I didn't know it. Everyone, I didn't know it.
He's a fraud.
Don't
nod. And Gears Tactics wasn't made by the Coalition. I mean, it was in partnership. That was Gears Tactics was by a third-party studio as well. So I don't know. Maybe I'm being a bit harsh, but nothing AAA scale though. Which I mean, not every game needs to be AAA, but they haven't had one in a long time. So yeah. Anywho, dead excited for it. Hopefully we see it this year. So, if I had to ask you, who was the director, or like lead game designer for Gears of War, the original trilogy? Do you know who it would be?
I would know it if I heard it, definitely. But no, I don't know it right now as you're asking me.
Does the name Cliff Blazensky mean anything to you?
Yeah. I feel like it's triggering something in my brain. Yeah.
All right. I mean, obviously, the original Gears of War trilogy was made by Epic, wasn't it? And Cliff Blazensky at the time was the lead game design, and he then went on to make a small little game called Lawbreakers. Remember that?
I know this guy. Yes.
Yeah, you know this guy. You know the dude. Look at this dude.
I could even picture his fucking mug. Yeah.
So this is a bit of a controversial one. Obviously he went on to make Lawbreakers, and it was exclusive to PlayStation. And he said a couple of bad words about Xbox fanboys.
Exclusive to the bin, mate.
And then the game died, and everyone was like, "Oh, I told you. Oh, I told you." Yeah. So I mean, I don't personally. I don't really get it. I mean, PlayStation offered him more money. He took more money. Whatever. So they need money. They're freelance. So whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
He's been kind of out of commission and out of work for like the last 2 years. I think he took a break. I think he said he was taking a career break on Twitter. Anyway, recent tweet from his went up this week, and he said, "For the record, I'm working on some new stuff, and you should know every damn day is agonizing not to talk about it." So he's back in business. He's doing something. We have no idea what, under what team or where, but I wouldn't be surprised if he has agreed to do something with Xbox. I mean, again, I'm just speculating, but it wouldn't surprise me if he has a small team and he wants to be on Games Pass.
I could see it, yeah, for sure. And yeah, he's obviously a very talented guy, so it'd be quite exciting to see what it is. I mean, he tends to, obviously, based on his track record, it'll probably be like a shooter of some kind, won't it? Or some kind of action game or something like that. But yeah,
I think so. I mean, yeah, he had obviously Gears of War is his MO, and then He went on to do Lawbreakers, which was first-person shooter rather than third, and then that game was received critically very well. Let's not forget that. It commercially failed.
Quite good.
I thought it looked great. I'm pissed I never got to play it.
It did look a bit intense though. Like I could not just sit down and play that game. It looked like I had to do like a line before playing it to keep up.
I'm all about that.
Not that I do lines, PSA to everyone, but like
you're done. Your career is over.
Yeah, it's over. Damn it. But no, it did look quite fun, for sure. Yeah, I feel like that's quite a sad case, for gaming.
Yeah, no, it is.
It literally died like right out of the gates. It was like less than a week, like after it launched. It was like had like 10 players.
Yeah, no, it really did.
It was so awful. In that regard.
And I wonder why that. Like, I don't know the deeper story of it. Like, did it need more marketing, or
I feel like it got a fair amount.
Like, because sure, or was it a game that released like alongside some other popular shooters and just murdered itself? I don't know. They like doing that sometimes. I don't know, because I mean, obviously, like some people was really salty and made the case. It's like, oh well, if you released on Xbox, your followers and fans would have played it. But it's like that wouldn't have sustained the game, so that's not really a thing, is it? So, yeah, I don't know, dude. I agree. I think he's a talented guy. I say get him back in. He also, obviously, just before he hit the bin, he tried to make Radical Heights. Do you remember that? It was like when the Battle Royale genre was kicking up, he like made one, and it was like some weird extreme sport Battle Royale.
Yeah, I do remember. Yeah.
Yeah, and that died because literally...
He tends to be quite extreme, doesn't he, this guy?
Extreme! Yeah. I think he did have some involvement in Bulletstorm as well, which is obviously with People Can Fly. People Can Fly developed that, and I think because People Can Fly were part of Epic Games at one point, and that game was obviously received really well as well, so I love Bulletstorm. So yeah, I say get him back in, get him on, get him doing something. He can make a great game. His track record is really good. So,
yep. Amen.
All right, what's next in the rumour mill? This is somewhat rumour mill, I guess. Final Fantasy Remastered. We've spoken about this before. Lots of insiders have told us not to get our hopes up for it ever coming to Xbox, but the contract for the exclusivity of Final Fantasy Remastered ends on April the 10th, which is, as of recording, tomorrow. It's the 9th today. So if there is to be any news about it coming to other platforms, we'll be hearing about it soon. Again, a lot of insiders have been saying, don't get your hopes up. They're probably just going to extend the exclusivity, so meh.
Yeah. That would be lame. I do really want to play that. And I'd like to play it on, my console. I wouldn't... And obviously my Xbox is substantially more powerful than my base PS4, which I don't want to splash out and get a Pro or higher quite yet. So it'd be really nice to play Final Fantasy VII on my Series X at the best possible quality. Didn't I hear something about them? Yeah, they're doing like a PS5 version of Final Fantasy VII. But they're like charging like full price for it.
You heard correctly. I don't remember the exact details. I don't remember the exact details, to be honest with you. I don't think it's that bad. I think it's they're doing a PS5 version, and they've done like a very, very small DLC with a character from one of the other. It was maybe in the original Final Fantasy. I'm the wrong person to ask because I know nothing about Final Fantasy.
It's that lady, isn't it?
Yeah, it was a lady.
I forgot her name. Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, I have. I remember seeing the trailer.
But it was like 20 quid or 30 quid. It was like really expensive. And it was like you had to buy it to get the remaster or something like that. I'm probably giving misinformation there. I don't remember. All I know is, there was somehow a difficulty with price and, a upscaled edition for the PS5.
Yeah.
So, that's Final Fantasy Remastered. Hopefully we have more maybe we have more to say about that next week, but I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
The Shelf strikes back.
Oh, yes. Let's go. What was on the shelf this week? Drum roll.
Well, I mean, nothing this week, but we spoke about this. What was on the shelf is the question. And we spoke about this when it originally happened, like in one of the earlier episodes. We said that there was something to do with Hideo Kojima on his shelf, and now, lo and behold, there's rumors, there's gossip, there's sprinklings of something happening with Hideo Kojima and Xbox. And allegedly, if we all recall correctly, Hideo Kojima was on to do an exclusive game with Stadia. Cue laugh track. So that's obviously dissipated. And Jeff Grubb, another notable insider from GamesBeat, has said, and I quote, Kojima is in talks with Xbox to publish his next game. He also said, and I quote, I do not know if the deal is closed, but Kojima would be a big focus for Xbox when it comes to leveraging Japanese dev talent. Phil was referencing this deal with the shelf statue thing. End quote.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it makes sense. If it's on the shelf, it happens.
If it's on the shelf, it happens. Exactly.
It's just, it's law. It's one of the universal laws we live by. Mm-hmm. And if we don't, then the world enters chaos. So,
exactly. He could probably see a world
exciting. Oh yeah, absolutely. But he just chooses not to put it on the shelf.
Exactly.
It's a bit of a dick, actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's crazy exciting because obviously he's quite the talent. Even though I kind of thought Death Stranding was a little bit assy. Obviously, I never played it, but I watched someone play it, and it didn't look like my cup of tea. But the man is pretty talented.
Yeah,
so.
I never played a Metal Gear Solid game, and part of me, fucking Death. The thing is, Death Stranding has me written all over it. It's like weird fucking sci-fi. It's like a bit pretentious. Like I'm all over that. But like I watched the gameplay and I'm like, what the fuck am I watching? Like, and do you know what? I couldn't, because nobody knew what the game was about. And arguably people still don't know what the game's about, and the vote is kind of split. Like a lot of people say that the story didn't make sense. A lot of people say, it's a beautiful tale, a very, which wouldn't surprise me because I know Hideo Kojima is quite cinematic. I think he is, based on what I've seen, quite a good screenwriter. He's just quite a cerebral screenwriter, which is not what we're used to seeing in video games. Usually it's fucking Outriders and people shout fuck and shoot each other. So like, I definitely think I could really enjoy a Hideo Kojima game, but yeah, I agree with you. Something about Death Stranding wasn't clicking for me, and it would have done if it was on Games Pass. I'd have given it a fucking go. But I also looked at how long the game was, and it's like 45 hours to beat. I'm like, fuck that, no way. Like I'm already on the fence about like the gameplay. It's walking simulator, so
Yeah, it's quite the commitment for something where the gameplay doesn't entirely grab you.
Exactly.
So but it seemed like an okay game overall, and I think if you were to actually watch like a YouTube video on just like Death Stranding story, stuff like that, and it pieces it together nicely in like a big long video, not like some shitty recap thing, you probably find it is quite a deep and quite very well written story. But yeah, it's not, to me it didn't seem worth the gameplay. the agonizing gameplay.
Exactly.
But yeah, it'd be nice to get a talent like him for sure, and have him work on a game exclusively for us, for Xbox. I'd be very excited about that, no doubt.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I absolutely agree. And this is the thing as well. Like a lot of people said this, even though it was a controversial game. Like I think the score settled out at like an 82 or something. If I remember, it was like low 80s or mid to low 80s. So it was still pretty good. Exactly. But like some of the reviews, it was one of those where like some of them were down low at like a 4. Some of them were up at like 10s. It was just. So sometimes with these sorts of reviews, getting to be fair, I don't know how they calculate it, but using an average or a mean calculation isn't good for these. You need to use a median instead because that discounts skewed data. But regardless, I think it's like, I'm glad the game exists kind of thing. Like, I don't think I'll play it, even though, yeah, I'm just glad it exists. Like, it's obviously like a creative game, you know, and that's really, really good. That's the good ship.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, I think simply because it's a nice segue, I want to speak about, speaking of creative games, there was an update from Bloomberg's Jason Schreier. Do you know Jason Schreier? He used to work at Kotaku, but he moved. He's commonly thought of as one of the few decent journalists in the games industry, and he comes out with these like quarterly, like, you know, or maybe, you know, even every 6 months, like big pieces about a particular topic. And he one came out yesterday, or maybe it might have been earlier today, actually. Yeah, I think it was earlier today. Did you see anything about it?
I didn't. No.
It was about it's titled this, right, because this is his words, not mine. Sony's obsession with blockbusters is stirring unrest within PlayStation empire. His words, not mine.
Wow.
I know this is weird because everybody was expecting this to be like a hit piece, to be like a hit piece on Xbox or on 343, because this has been a thing. I don't know if there's actually any evidence of him. Maybe he did say something about it, actually, but supposedly there was going to be something in the works about looking into 343 and the disaster that is Halo Infinite. But it turns out it wasn't that. It was actually something about Sony, which was really weird. So it's a bit of an odd one, and this is a bit of a conundrum. So, like, let me explain to you, like, the premise, and then you can tell me what you think. So, what he's saying is, he spoke, and this is what he tends to do. He speaks to loads of devs within an organization anonymously and gets their sort of opinions on things. And there has been a thought that within the kingdom of Sony, the Sony kingdom, they aren't allowing teams to do their own thing. They're just concerned with big blockbuster commercial successes. Now, on one hand, obviously, yeah, like, you're a business, like, you're going to crank out big games which make a lot of money. But on the other hand, they're not taking risks or allowing devs to kind of do their own thing. And then be creative, exactly. And creativity involves risk. This is, he gave an example of Sony Bend Studio. Sony Bend made Days Gone. Do you remember Days Gone?
I do.
Yeah, fucking open world zombie shooty game. It got received pretty well, didn't it? Came in like a 78 or something like that, mid high to mid 70s. Like it's pretty good. It's okay. It's good. Yeah, it's good. Can't complain. So it seems after that there were no plans for a sequel. The IP is just dead, which is hilarious when you think that Crackdown 3 got greenlit, Recore got greenlit, just State of Decay 3 got greenlit. Just fucking fun. Anyway, and Sony Bend got folded in to Naughty Dog to help with the next Uncharted or their next game or whatever. And obviously the team was really upset with that because this means they didn't get to work on the property that they developed and they wanted to develop with. And then eventually, like a year or two later, the team kind of revolted and said, look, we don't want to do this. So they put them back on their own project. But this is apparently happening in a few places across Sony, in that there's just a bit of limitation and restriction into putting teams on big, reliable pots of money. But I mean, on the other, these games are critical hits. They're critical sweethearts, and like they're commercial bangers as well. So, like, what's your take on all of that?
It's mixed. Obviously, I feel like developers should have the creative freedom, to work on things they want to do and ideas they've come up with and all that sort of stuff. I feel like that it generates a lot of passion, and passion really helps with game design and making good games. But it is a risk as well, and putting them onto these new the existing like pots of gold, as you were saying, it's not it's not bad for the consumer or anything like that, because, like you said, these games are widely loved, and everyone would be gagging for these sort of games to come out. It's what the community wants, but yeah, it's quite a tough one. I can understand it from both sides of the coin, to be honest. I don't know. Maybe they should just, if there's a way to give them a bit of creative freedom inside of the games they're forcing them onto. But then, that in itself is risky, and I don't know. It's tough.
Well, I mean, and this is the thing, right? Because it could be said, the argument could be made that since like 2014, when Sony did start cranking out these wonderful, wonderful games, there has been a fair bit of similarity. There has been an overlap of third-person action adventure, narrative-driven, over-the-shoulder.
Yeah.
Some of them have been more shooty, like Horizon. Some of them have been more, and Days Gone, some of them have been more hacky-slashy, like God of War. But I think you'd be being a bit disingenuous if you weren't able to look at that collection of games and say, there's similarity here. Ghost of Tsushima is another one, Last of Us, and I will, just being facetious, say that they're all about dads as well. So I know they're not, but there is a little bit, maybe too much of thematic overlap, but that's more opinion than anything else. So and I think I'm in agreement. There is a bit of both sides to this here, but like what I think is the real problem is that for these last 5 years, it's been fucking sick to be a PlayStation owner, because these games have been rolling out. There's been a couple of new IPs that have landed on both their feet, and that's so exciting. Like, you really don't... Like, Horizon doing as well as it did is completely ludicrous. Spider-Man, that obviously was never going to fail. Well, I mean, having said that, I mean, Avengers died, so maybe I'm wrong. But, these games are like, big new entries into the ecosystem. And I think what a lot of people aren't talking about is that if they continue this trend, they're going to find themselves with a Halo, Forza, Gears kind of position where they have to start cutting the fat with everything on the periphery and just kind of keep the stuff which is successful. And this is why you see COD pumped out every year, and it's why people rightfully make fun of it for being a recycled franchise. And, Gears started getting that rep. It's maybe coming out of that a little bit, maybe not, depending on who you ask. Halo started getting it as well. Forza. The reason why Xbox drew that criticism is because they kept leaning really heavily into these tentpole franchises. And, 5 years from now, if Sony decides Horizon 2 actually, it only hit 80 on Metacritic, so we're not doing a Horizon 3. Spider-Man 2 only hit, an 82, and we're not doing another one of them. And so it's like, oh, well, if with God of War, another Uncharted, another Last of Us. You know what I mean? So like, you get to this really dangerous point of like, art is worth more than the number you put on it. And I understand Sony aren't as big as Xbox, so the risks they can take are less there. But, I think it's dangerous. It's a dangerous game to be playing, son.
Yeah, it is. Because then it just becomes such a suit in a boardroom sort of thing, doesn't it? They just look at the numbers and they're like, make more of them.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't care. Like, they don't have the passion that these dev teams have and the people working on the games. So they're just like, I don't care if you have a fantastic idea or you want to make this. You make me this. Like I said, it is a dangerous game. And yeah, it can just it just narrows their sort of ability to be creative. Yeah, their scope. Yeah, it's risky for sure.
Exactly, and I mean, because I look at kind of what they've done, and they have like. There's one notable exception, and that's Dreams. And I have spoken about this before. Dreams, it's the game Maker game, which is done by Media Molecule, which is one of their first party titles, and that's a fucking ridiculous game, by the way. And that's like a huge outlier. You don't see big budget game maker games. That's ridiculous. So that's a notable outlier. But other than that, like, they're quite similar. And then I know, it's I know people are going to hate me for drawing the comparison, but even across Nintendo, like Nintendo and Xbox, they have had a lot of variety in their IPs. I mean, you can criticize Xbox for the critical success, that's fine, but like you've got games like Crackdown, stupid, but yeah, you've got Sea of Thieves, you've got Ori, you've got then you've got things like Gears, then you've got things that even like Forza in the racing genre. You've even got, I know Killer Instinct was a while back, but Killer Instinct. So like, there is like a lot of variety there. Gears Tactics, Flight Simulator. You've got all of this stuff, which is like across like you can't paint the same brush across all of Xbox's games. Again, Nintendo games, Mario fucking Golf, Mario Kart. Like they're wild with some of their IPs, and they just make it work like nobody's even. They had like a rhythm Zelda game a couple of years back, didn't they? It's so weird.
Yeah, they did.
They just kind of make these games work like it's no big deal. So it's really weird. So I think, I think it's like a fair concern to have, and like more so, there are going to be people who sit back and are like, well, I don't care. These are games that I like and I love them, and they're really well received. And blah, blah. I mean, what the bigger deal here was that the devs are getting pissed off with it. They don't want to work on sequel number 3, sequel number 4, sequel number 5. Or maybe they do, but they're not being given the option. That's the difference.
It will show in their work as well.
Exactly.
That sort of thing. Motivation and passion play a large role in making a good game. And if you start stripping them of that, it will start to show in your products. Through lack of innovative ideas or just laziness or anything like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
It will start to shine through eventually.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what I mean. I would argue we're kind of already starting to see that. Like I can't think of a game that has been like. It sounds really stupid and petty, but like I can't think of a game that has been like creatively innovative from Sony. I think their games have been fucking sick, but I don't think they've done anything new. Whereas, so
you can say it's not creatively innovative from a gameplay standpoint, but like I don't know, like the premise, like the world that was created in Horizon and stuff like that. Sure, like the gameplay is stuff we've seen before with some new things, and it's not that innovative. But the world itself, the idea itself, was quite staggering. So.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree, but I will say, again, like Horizon is a new IP, so like but like this is the idea that if, like I said, if Horizon 2 doesn't review as well, suddenly is Horizon on the chopping block? It's just things like that. Whereas it wouldn't even be in question that after Halo 4 didn't do as well, quote unquote, still getting 87 or whatever on Metacritic. Like, of course, Halo 5 is going to meet it. Same for Halo 5. So yeah, it's just this kind of, I don't know. There is this like bigger and bigger wedge, like going between how Sony and Microsoft are approaching this, and Nintendo obviously doing their own thing. But yeah, that's a thing that happened.
All right. Nice little pause, quick before we move on to our next topic. I need to plug in my laptop. So
okay, cool. I'll pause it and we'll resume.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So picking up from there, there's just a few bits and bobs before we finish off today's episode. And in the long list of, actually, both of these things are things that seem to be happening weekly. And the first one of those things is a delay, another delay in the form of Deathloop, which honestly was a bit surprising because I'm pretty sure it already got delayed. I'm pretty sure it was supposed to be coming out like November for the launch of the PS5, but so this is its second delay, which is actually kind of an interesting thing because obviously this is Arcane Lyon in France making this one, and so it just makes me think that like did Phil have to sign off on this delay for the PS5 launch?
Potentially. What do you mean by like sign off for the delay? Like,
well, I mean, if Xbox owns Bethesda, like, I mean, it would have had to have gone through someone at upper management, and they would have had to have said, "Yeah, fine, we'll let you delay the game for our competition to make it better for our competition."
Oh, okay, I see. Yeah. That could be That could be what it was. But I mean, it would have been delayed regardless, right? I mean, just development-wise.
Well, maybe I'm just saying it's just a funny situation to be in because the Xbox leadership has to make the sign off on them delaying the game for a game that's not even coming to their console. You know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we are getting it, but we always make the joke where
we're
getting it. What is it? A year after it releases? What is it?
Yeah, it'll be a year. Yeah.
Yeah, so if they're delaying it from
2 years,
then yeah, it's a year from the point it reaches PlayStation. So which is sad because I mean I'm a big fan of what Deathloop looks like. I think it looks like a really really cool game. Definitely right up our alley, for sure. But yeah, it's just a shame. I hope it's one of those games which might not be received particularly well as well. It's quite hard to make because it's multiplayer only, isn't it? There's nothing else to it.
Do you know what? I don't bloody know. I think it does. I think it has a multiplayer component to it, but I think the problem Deathloop has going for it is that it's hard to market. I follow Arcane stuff quite religiously, and I couldn't tell you exactly what Deathloop is. They even made a video trying to explain it, and I still don't really know. I don't understand what the game is.
It's weirdly giving me I mean, hopefully it's better than this, but it's giving me weird Brink vibes. You know what I mean?
Brink.
You know, when no one really knew what it was, and it was kind of multiplayer focused, but then they half baked some single player in it. It had loads of delays. I don't know. I'm getting a Brinky vibe from it.
Don't you say that. I don't want to hear it.
No.
I don't want to hear this curse.
Absolutely trash. But
yeah. Man, I was so excited for Brink back in the day.
Everyone was, man. That game was.
Who made Brink? What a fucking throwback that is.
They're probably not around now.
They're on the fucking brink, aren't they?
Yeah, they're on the run. They're probably out in Cuba somewhere. Switzerland maybe.
Nah, look at that Arc Star. It's fucking Bethesda. It's published by Bethesda. Well, it's published by Bethesda, made by Splash Damage. What else did Splash Damage do? That cover. Do you know what the cover art is for Brink? Can you see it in your head?
It's just some dude with a Molotov. He's
it is. Yeah, he's got an SMG. Yeah, blue background. Yeah, you know it.
Yeah.
Oh, that is.
Yeah, dude, that game was crazy overhyped.
I was so excited for that game,
and it was so bad. It was so bad. But yeah, I mean, Deathloop does look really cool, and it's a shame to see it get delayed. But I say this with all delays, if the product is better as a result of it, then so be it. I can suck it up for a little bit longer.
Yeah, it just sucks that we're always going to be a year behind that, and it's for God's sake,
the game seems just so far away.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But the further we go, the less. The only reason, I mean, I'll always love the stuff that Arcane does, but the further we go on into the gen, the less important it's going to be because there'll just be more new stuff to play. So,
yeah, exactly.
And it does look. Deathloop looks fairly innovative. It's a cross-gen game, I think, but it still looks quite innovative. So
yeah, no, for sure.
Fun fact, actually, Splash Damage, the guys who made Brink, are the same team that made Gears Tactics.
Oh my god!
They work with Xbox quite a lot. Actually, having a look at it, they helped with the. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, wow,
they helped
crazy.
They help with the Master Chief Collection PC port. They help with Gears 5 multiplayer, Gears 4 multiplayer, Gears of War Ultimate Edition. So, yeah.
Fair enough. Fair play.
Fair enough. So Brink 2. Let's go, baby.
Yeah,
Xbox exclusive.
I'm calling it. I've made the connection. This is my baby. If it happens, I want to shoot to fame. This is it.
Wishing you the best, man. Hope you make it.
It's quite a bold move. It's quite a long move.
It truly is. All right. Well, I mean, in our other sort of weekly coverage, it's Starfield. More Starfield leaks, bro. So this was, and I'm gonna, barrels and barrels and barrels of salt here because, this is on 4chan. This leak comes from 4chan, and if you're not familiar, 4chan is known for being really reliable. I mean, not only is it a piece of shit forum with lots of piece of shit users, it's the leaks there tend to be quite volatile, shall we say. So I'm not going to read the whole thing because there's quite a lot here. If you want to find more about it, give it a quick Google, Starfield 4chan leak. I'm sure you'll find it. But there's some pretty cool stuff here because, I mean, as we've spoken about before, we don't really know what Starfield is other than that it seems to be a kind of near future space kind of exploration game. We don't even know if it's going to, I mean, presumably it's going to be like Fallout and that it's going to be first person or third person. But just to go over a couple of big things here, lots of different types of weapons, kinetic, laser, sonic, cryo, plasma. There's obviously skill trees, skill checks. Areas will vary in gravity levels. Silent protagonist.
That definitely gives off Fallout sort of vibes, isn't it?
Yeah. Aliens will be in game, but some will not be humanoid and cannot communicate easily. A huge variety of alien wildlife, varying planet to planet, and a host of unique playable alien tribes. Other bits and bobs. Colonies within moonships, space station, asteroid bases, derelict spaceships. Locations vary from small planets to big planets. Major cities on developed planets. Wild West style bounty hunting system with a wanted mechanic for doing bad things. Yeehaw in space. In-depth hacking systems and augmentation, cybernetics. I mean, that's kind of the gist of it. I mean, like I said, it's a 4chan rumor. There's as much chance that I could win the lottery tomorrow as this could be correct, but it's there. If you enjoy the speculation, it's there. I mean, it all sounds fucking cool, so I wouldn't be sad if it.
I'm pretty sure I typed this up actually. This is my 4chan.
Oh my god!
Profile. Yeah.
Oh my god! You can't be on my podcast anymore.
What do you mean? Because I'm a 4chan member, or because I bamboozled you?
Both. You can't forge. Leaks and
I can forge my own
report
news.
on your own leaks. No.
Of course I can. I got you to report on it. It's a loophole.
This is how we take the fucking world by storm, dude.
Yeah.
You just go Anon and fucking type up bullshit leaks and I'll report on them. Everybody will click.
Whoa.
Yeah,
exactly.
Xbox is buying Nintendo?
Yeah.
Xbox is buying Microsoft?
That's a good one.
Crazy, man. Who is this guy I keep seeing making these leaks? Who is this guy?
It's so legit. But yeah, no, it all sounds very cool. Starfield is still very elusive.
Yeah.
Considering something that has a release date this year, right?
No, it doesn't. There's just lots of speculation.
Just lots,
yeah, lots of speculation. It's not too far off though. It's not far off. Like it's going to be in the next year. I'd bet like a good pair of socks on it.
Wow, that's.
I put a lot on the line for it.
Yeah, that's a lot. You sure you want to do that?
Well, not my like best socks, but they're some of the older ones.
Dude, we can take it. We can take it out. We could just cut this bit. Are you sure you want to commit to this?
I can't commit, dude.
But yeah,
we'll see.
Starfield does look cool in theory.
Bloody well.
Definitely something I would be interested in playing. As you said, yeehaw in space. Fallout in space.
Well, I hope not. Like, I would not. I mean, now that I've played a Fallout, that still makes me happy. But I really hope it's not just Fallout in space. I hope it's got its own vibe.
I'm sure it will.
Todd Howe is on record saying that this is his dream game. He said that about this game. So
he said that I imagine about Fallout 76.
I don't know if that's true.
Yeah, it's not true. Nothing I say is true.
It was such a mermaid. Okay.
Yeah. Cool.
I'm tired now.
Yeah, it's been a long week.
Yeah, it has been a long week. I don't have anything else to add. I mean, I'm aware by the time this has been uploaded, you're all going to be talking about the podcast that Jeff Grubb went on, and he said, "Oh, Xbox might be doing a partnership with FromSoft." He said, "Oh, something's happening with Nintendo." Oh, so we're not going to talk about this today because that wasn't in the news cycle for this week. So fuck you. We're going to speak about it next week.
Yeah, exactly. But still click.
Yeah, but still.
And obviously just subscribe for next week, right? I mean, it just makes sense.
I mean, yeah, we'll speak about it then. We'll be in a week late, but we'll get to it. I mean, I'm sure there'll be more news next week anyway. It's fucking mental at the moment. I can't keep up.
Yeah, no doubt, like, something else will come to Games Pass.
Yeah. Microsoft Word is on Games Pass.
Dude, wow.
That's hard.
That's too big, that one.
I'll tell you what, actually. That is pretty huge. Imagine getting a month free Games Pass when you get Microsoft Office. It's in everyone's house, boom, done. Game over.
Yeah. What deck?
I figured it out, dude.
Yeah. I can't believe... Alright, now we do have to cut that out. That's ridiculous. You can't. If Microsoft catch wind of that, that's it. That's just global dominance. That's fucking it. It's over. It's the androids.
God. Okay.
Yeah, we're talking a load of nonsense now. So we're just gonna sign off.
Yeah.
And yeah, thank you for listening. And I hope you enjoyed my smoother voice this time. Hopefully,
it's so smooth, dude.
You sound like great. Insanely loud.
You sound like so
a mouse. And I'm just like the most buttery, smooth giant.
Yeah. All you hear is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when you're the one that says the important stuff as well.
Yeah.
You're fucking dropping all the knowledge bombs, and I'm like, oh yeah, just talking like that. I'm the only one that they can hear. Oh,
taking a swig of beer between fucking news.
Yeah,
news reports.
I did have to stop the beard stroking and the drinking during this podcast because you told me you could hear you could hear all the liquid going down my neck.
Well, maybe you know what? Maybe
into my stomach.
If the people want beer ASMR, then they can have it. But we'll just have to play the field of it. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll just have to make a second channel.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But yeah,
okay.
Jesus. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Do something better with your lives.
Do something better with your lives. Subscribe. Bye!